So now I open it to the question answer round. So any of you have questions, please go ahead. I'll hold on to mine till the end. Yes, audience, please go ahead with your questions. There is a question for Babar Ali in the chat box, and if I may read it out. How do you keep a track of your alumni, and how do they help your institution? What are your main resources?
Thank you, sir, for this wonderful question. So, right now, we have the regular, there is the contract with our alumni association. That is not only the regular basis, but definitely we have the contact with our students, alumni, and we are maintaining all the records and everything. And sometimes we are thinking that how we can utilize their contribution for our institution, as well as to build our society surroundings areas. And our resources right now, we have the our school is affiliated, though unaided. So definitely we are maintaining the records and everything for all of our students. And since inception to till date, we are maintaining the same. We are maintaining the official records and everything. And the students who are really wants to do something for our institution, for the society, we are maintaining the contact with all of them, and they are also doing their best to help us. And I already mentioned you that 6 of our former students, especially the girls students, after their graduation, post graduation, and teachers training degree, they came back as the teacher at our institution. And our main resources is, if the peoples across the country, the like-minded peoples like you, that is our well wishers, different organization, they are helping us. That's why this is possible for us to providing them completely free education. And many good peoples, the educators from others institution, so they are also coming forward to teach our students. So basically, we are getting help from the society, from the like-minded peoples like you, the oil wishers across the country. They are helping us. That's why it is possible for us to continue our service. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Babar. Anyone else? Yes, there is a question here. Is Anand Niketan, do the children trained or something? I don't know what, it just missed. I think I missed it. Anyone wants to speak?
I'd like to know from Ananda Niketan, the children are trained in technology. Are they getting exposure to the latest technologies?
Your question is for?
Madam Sushma.
Okay, Sushma madam. He is asking, are they exposed to technology?
Yes, they are exposed to technology. What technologies here? Yes, they are exposed to computers, internet, because these are the new ways of getting information, getting access to new areas of knowledge, new experiments. So they are exposed to this technology, and they are also exposed to simple machines like charkha, different types of charkha, using solar charkha. then using a bicycle is one of the simple machines which is actually used to understand how it functions, how all different kinds of physics, mathematics, and is integrated with this. So actually, simple machines are tools of understanding world, and internet, of course, is something to relate to real society, to wider society, and to get knowledge from others. So these are the basic areas, I would say. And of course, I showed other areas of technology because these are also the technologies. We need to understand that.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Anyone else would like to ask a question? I'm sure most of you, all of you, found it extremely, extremely captivating. So, and I'm sure you have a lot of questions. So, anyone would like to go ahead? Okay, at this point, then I'll take the chance. My question is for Babar Ali. I always have confusions. Yesterday also I was talking about this. Like, as you said, Swamiji's thing was to, education is a media to change the world, you said, to bring about a better world. And you talked about character building and nurturing the self, compassion, values, and all that. And I remember when we were young, we had these classes called moral science classes. We moved to the +2, and then there we had classes like ethics, where the nuns would take the classes. So there was a balance brought about through all that anyway. And as Madam presented, going to the farm or going, all this was already practiced, very naturally and very spontaneously. But now on one side, you have this, you have character building and nurturing and compassion, honesty, love, all the qualities that you talked about. And on the other hand, what we get to see is, like as Mr. Balan talked about technology, and you have the digital world coming and the smart boards and digital boards, this, that. And of course, the rat race, become an engineer and doctor, and, all that is there. So how would we bring about a balance, because compassion, nurturing, character building is actually the root. How much of it can we actually take it to a world where people are still in that mindset of competition for qualifications and competition for getting a good job with good money? So how would you balance this? And how would you bring about more of the character building?
Thank you, ma'am. So this is very good question. Definitely these our ongoing education, that is bookish knowledge or technology, everything is it is okay. This is also necessary to gain our knowledge, to establish ourselves. This is okay. But apart from that, why we are talking that we should become a real human being? Because as a human being, we have some responsibilities. We need to create our society, create our country. We have the contribution. And you see, whenever we are talking about an ideal student, ideal teacher, these are the basic, resolutions for in our life, that we should be good and we should do good. So be good and do good. This is also most important thing. Definitely, our education system, technology, book, everything are so advanced nowadays. But apart from that, the purpose of the teacher is not only to come and teach, force students to memorize. He said that real goal is to human making. Again and again, I am saying that human making. That is, getting a degree is not enough. The proper education must be viewed based on character, mental powers, intelligence, and inculcate self-confidence and self-reliance in the individuals. That things, and definitely, if we can make a balance. But nowadays, unfortunately, what happened? Not only the teachers, the whole system are forcing our younger generation to establish ourselves, to think only for hours. And you see, after getting, I am not criticizing anyone. Then in our society, what is going on? So from the beginning of our life, if we can help them to become good and to be good and to do good, definitely we can bring a change. And these are nothing new. We all know about these things. You see, ma'am, in your generation also, uh, I am the students like the teacher like you. I am just 29. So in that time, teachers definitely we learned so many things from the teachers. Nowadays also teachers they are also trying their best to inspire our younger generation. But our system and everything, you see what is going on. So for that only, apart from this bookish knowledge, technology and everything, this human making education I mean is very much necessary. This value based education is very much necessary
Exactly.
nowadays.
That is why my question is exactly what can we do in order to divert
Yes,
the attention towards that? And especially with AI now coming in, and people
yes,
talking that teachers are going to be replaced. So I have a fear that people don't become very robotic. So what
yes,
are the things that we can do actually to shift the entire focus, uh, from having the necessities of life parallelly, but shifting it more towards what actually a human, the very essence of being a human being? What are the things that we can do?
yes. So for have the we have lots of responsibilities. Uh, so from our curriculum, from our education.
Voice is not clear, na?
Yes, Mr. Babar Ali, your voice is breaking.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah, your voice was breaking. Can you just repeat? Meanwhile, audience, get ready with your questions. You can put it up in the chat box. Maybe I'll read it out.
Oh, ma'am. Okay.
Yes, Mr. Babar Ali, you can continue. Your voice was breaking, so we couldn't hear you.
Yes. This- Hello.
Yes,
Hello.
yes, please continue.
So, being if I can give example,
We can't hear you, Mr. Ali. Could be some network issue, maybe.
uh, hello.
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay. So, being a teacher, the students who are coming at our institution, um, I always try to help them. Not only me, that our teachers, that what is our ultimate goal of our goal. So for that, being a real human being, you see lots of different measures you can take. Different measures you can take, and that particular things. I mean, am I audible? Hello.
Yes, yes, we can hear you.
Oh,
Yes, we can hear you. Please continue. I think he's facing some problem there. So, anyone else with any question? We have a very silent audience today. We need to be a little more interactive. So, anyone can put up in the chat box?
May I answer your question?
Yes, yes, please. Please,
You
I'll
see,
be honored.
if I understand your question, can you just repeat your question in a sentence?
What I was saying is that with today's technology and the digitalization and the AI coming in and all that, what are the methods that we can take to shift the focus of the children towards more of morality and character building and value education and all that?
Do you mean to say how do you adapt to technology? Would that be a part of the question?
No.
How do you adapt to the changing environment?
No, that I think children are already doing. But what is in the long run, what is happening is, like Mr. Babar Ali was saying, that the focus is on the self, the self nurturing, analyzing yourself, character building. So how can we shift the mind of a child more towards that than just the technical part of the technology or the...
No, I'm afraid I can't answer that question.
Okay, I'm sorry. Maybe I'm not able to put across what I want. Yes, Mr. Balaji, I think you had your hand up.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm trying to go for attempting this one. In my opinion, actually we are forgetting our culture, first of all. The great epics are there. Nowadays, the children are not at all going for the showing their interest towards their celebrating the festivals wholeheartedly. Broken families are there. That is the main cause. And also even our elders, grandmother, grandfather, the importance are going away from our society.
Correct.
So first of all, it should come from the families.
Correct.
So in my opinion, the school should also take the responsibility of schooling the parent also. The parental guidance is so important nowadays. If the parent is well educated, well cultured, then we can expect a very good generation. We can have the hope. Now we are thinking about that in future we may not have the water sufficiently, scarcity of water, oxygen, plant. Instead of that, we can question our parents and students that why don't we go for planting a sapling today, and we can go for some conservative ideas. In each and every family should take the responsibility. So my intention is that first priority should goes to families. So school should also take the schooling of parent. Parents should have all these things because the teachers are trying, the schools are giving knowledge, culture, and everything. But after going home, the environment of the families are very disturbed, very deviated, very distracted. So it is my humble request to all the society in this platform. Parental guidance and education is most important. Whatever the things we have forgotten, that one Ramayana, Mahabharata, Gita should be introduced as an education system in our present schooling system. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I think what you said is absolutely correct. Yes, Madam Sushma. I'll come back to you, Mr. Bhattacharya. Yes, Madam Sushma, please go ahead.
I would actually appreciate what has been said earlier, but at the same time, what I feel is a continuous dialogue with parents and children and even among the teachers to critically think about one's own choices, being conscious of what our choices mean. How is it affecting you, your relationship to other human being and to nature? and how do we come up with different programs. I would rather not be very, yeah, I'm happy that children read Mahabharata or Ramayana. All these things can be read, but we are a very diverse country, and there are ways in which Ramayana is looked at, Mahabharata is looked at. So there can always be issues regarding this, people thinking differently about it. But the crux is, how do you feel when you read something? How do you relate to others when you make choices? And how do we ensure that whatever action is done is doing good to self, to others, and to nature? Such kind of developing consciousness through regular dialogue at various places, at home, in school, and creating these spaces with initiation from school can be useful. And we are trying to do that. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, madam. Yes, Mr. Bhattacharya, please go ahead.
Hi, good evening. I also want to give my point of view, what you just asked, Nandita ma'am.
Yes.
Balaji sir already has spoken about it, and Balaji sir is my colleague. So I want to say one thing, that the education system is changing rapidly, particularly in Indian education system. And the question that you have asked, that how can we come back to that ethos or
Yes.
the moral education in our school learning education system, how can we combine both of them together? And
Correct.
it mode with the technology and the modern aspect of it with the connection of AI, and at the same time going back to the moral. The problem lies within our school education system. Now, ma'am, if you see that what many schools are there in India, there are many government education sector and private education sector. The main focus becoming these days more career-oriented academic transaction rather than the other part of it. When a child is coming to a school, from 4th grade, 5th grade, 6th grade onwards, parents are asking for IIT Foundation or JEE NEET Foundation education. They are not asking that how can I make my child to become a complete human being with moral, with the integrity or anything. Instead of that, they're asking for this kind of education system. And to be honest with you, ma'am, though I am heading 2 institutions now at present, and we are also not catering that need. We are only catering the need of the parents, because the number of the admission, because of we have to sustain in the competitive market. We have to give what the parents are asking. So we are also offering the same kind of education system. And somewhere down the line, we are actually forgetting that education is one of the core identity of an individual human being. I will share one of my personal experiences. I worked in UK, London for 12 years in a college, Stockton Intermediate Arts and Science College. The first day when I went there and I was shown the building, the HR department, they took me, and I was surprised that an English college, as English school, the staircase are completely covered with the quote written by Rabindranath Tagore, and it is in Bengali. There was the framing picture, Bahudin Dhore Bahukrosh Dhure, that poem was written. Chitto Jetha Bhayashunno, that poem was written. But am I able to do that in my own institution? No, I am not able to do that. When I am in my institution, instead of focusing that, I am focusing more on the students' display, how many SOF medal the child has accomplished, or what are the SDF games that we have getting, all this kind of things. So now the education system, rather than focusing on the core element, we are focusing on how to attract the people. So first thing we have to do it, ma'am, if I make answer, we have to shift our complete thinking pattern from that to this. Even the teachers need to be given much more empowerment in the classroom domain. Instead of all the time we telling them that this is how you should teach, this is how you should not teach. Instead of them, let them come up with their own creative idea. This is one part of it. The second part of it, when the teachers will take their profession as not a profession, but as a lifestyle, things will change. They need to understand the students not because of their academic potential or not because of their academic certificate. Instead of that, what the child loves to do, what kind of aura the child is giving to other people, what kind of creativity the child can implement. In my school, I am conducting one activity on this 27th, that is myself in a bag. It is for primary kids. It is from grade 1 to grade 5 kids. Myself in a bag, and my main focus is not anything related to that academic. I want the child to understand that what the child himself or herself is. I want the child to understand and to explore the ability that apart from the textbook, what else can we do? So if all the education is the thinking in that way, it will change. Lastly, the parental concept. What Balaji sir rightly said, that the parental concept also needs to be changed. Instead of giving them the luxurious gadgets, give them a storybook from the very early childhood. Instead of asking them to read from the Kindle, why not a real storybook? Why not allowing them to go to a library, nearby library, explore them? Why not you were giving them a drawing book with the color? Let them explore the color. That will make a lot of changes, ma'am. So the problem is within ourselves, and we are the adults are actually making this problem for the upcoming years. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, yes, absolutely. I totally agree with every word that you said. And that was precisely what my question was. And very rightly, both of you, Mr. Balaji, and you have mentioned about parents.
Mrs. Nandita,
Yes,
I
yes,
just would like to
please.
chip in
Yes, yes,
and
please.
try to answer your question as briefly as possible if you are running out of time.
I'm honored that everybody wants to answer this question. Please go ahead. Yes.
Well, the thing is, there is no clarity of the answers I got. So I would like to put my views on this.
Please, please.
Well, the essence of anything is in its activity. Now, I would like to share a small experience, which of course I inculcated from my gurus. We talked about ethos and culture and morality to be instilled in the students. It comes from within, the treasure within, not blaming others. The change, this should change, that should change, who should change, we should change. The treasure within us is there. For that, a leader has to be a pedagogical leader, where he creates an atmosphere, an environment of respect and relationship, as Mrs. Sushma has said when she was talking about Gandhiji's philosophy. The relationship, how are you building a relationship in school, with teachers, with students, with the management, with the parents? And I would take a simple example of that relationship instead of talking very lengthy about it. When I joined one of the new school, took over a school, which I just carried forward what I used to do earlier. When the teacher used to greet me, of course, I used to say namaskar. They used to say good morning, sir, good afternoon, sir. I used to say namaskar. Initially, there was not much response. They still continued to do that. Even students, when they say good evening or good morning, I say namaskar. So I kept on doing that irrespective of the fact that they are not folding their hands to reciprocate the gesture. But I continued that. Continued for days together, months together. Slowly, the ripple effect started. And they all started doing greetings in English because it's an English medium school, but with the namaskar, with the folded hands. It so happened that the entire school, at one point of time, after a few years, adopted this relationship of saying namaskar. This is one act of relationship. And as I left that school, a new successor came. And when she went around, when she said, good morning, children, The children folded their hands, says, "Good morning, madam." And she acknowledged that in a public meeting, saying that this is so instilled, the relationship of respect for others is so instilled by activity and not lecture. It is an activity, a small gesture, which has a ripple effect to create that the management also should have a good relationship with the principal. The principal should be a pedagogical leader and not an administrative person who is glued to his seat. He should be also have that relationship with teachers, students, and parents. I think the entire system will have that echo of the culture that you are talking about. I just talked about one aspect of the culture. All the others, even listening, giving respect to someone when somebody is talking. These small gestures goes to make something which we all idealize, but we never practice. So this is my view, my answer to your question.
Correct. And that is why I was asking, because everything in theory sounds very good. But when it comes to the implementation, then there are lapses, there are, gaps. And that is, in fact, the irony is that my schooling is done from Loreto, and we had these Irish nuns. And as you said, you continued with the Namaskar. There also, they talked less, and whatever they did, their little acts of kindness, their little acts of generosity, their little acts of values, it was there in their blood. So they continued to do that. And that's how we nurtured. We just saw them and we picked up. So that actually really helps. But that is why I was asking that in today's world, it's slowly fading. So we need more leaders like you and like all other that are present here. We need leaders like you, where our little acts of, these little acts will actually prompt the youngsters to move ahead.
As like Oliver Goldsmith had said in one of his poems, The Village Schoolmaster, the children are great observers. They soak like a sponge everything that they see and experience. And who will facilitate? It is not always extraneous. It has to be the community. And we are all community of learners and teachers. And we play a role in bringing about the change. We have to be the agents of change.
Correct. Absolutely. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. It's really been profitable. Anyone else would like to ask? And especially with schools like Madam Sushma has shown us, and yesterday Bodhi Rupa was talking about Niketan and the touch with nature and things like that. I think slowly, maybe it will be slow, but it will be steady, and we are looking ahead with hope. I don't see anybody. Yes, Mr. Bhattacharya, please.
Sorry, ma'am, it was a mistake. I think my hand was already raised.
Okay. No problem. Anyone else? All right. So it's really been a 2-day thoroughly captivating and very inspiring session, even yesterday and today. And as Mr. Babar Ali had said, all teachers are learners, and I personally am taking away a lot of things and changes that are to be brought about through action. So definitely it's been very inspiring, and we hope to look forward to more sessions like this. It's been a pleasure moderating the session yesterday and today. And thank you, Madam Sushma, and thank you, Mr. Babar Ali. And thank you to all the audience for being here and interacting and giving us your views. And hope that we will meet on such platforms very soon. So thank you very much. Namaskar, and have a wonderful evening ahead. Thank you.
Namaskar, Nandita ji, and everyone.
Thank you.
Good night. Okay. Good night.